Chapter 8. A Detour Through the Heart of the Potteries. Emma awoke to the gentle sound of water lapping against Serendipity, her floating sanctuary. The morning was still, with only the faintest rustling of leaves on the trees lining the canal. She had spent 2 peaceful days moored in Armitage, a small village nestled along the Trent and Mersey Canal. It had been the perfect place to rest and reflect on her journey. The village itself felt almost frozen in time, with its industrial history always just beneath the surface. While modern life had softened some of its edges, the village's deep roots in manufacturing remained clear, especially whenever Emma passed the Armitage Shanks factory. The factory, famous for producing toilets and other sanitary ware, had piqued Emma's curiosity. Each time she walked past, she chuckled at the sight of hundreds of toilets stacked outside. It was an odd yet iconic scene, one that every boater travelling this route seemed to know. Since its founding in 1817, Armitage Shanks had been a cornerstone of the local economy, and the canal had once been a lifeline for transporting its products far and wide. Emma couldn't help but marvel at how these waterways had once served industries like this, while now providing her with a path to tranquility and reflection. Her thoughts drifted back to the conversations she'd had with other boaters about Armitage. The quirky sight of the stacked toilets had become something of a rite of passage, a landmark that boaters would laugh about over pints in the local pub. Emma smiled, amused by the mix of history and humour that defined so much of canal life. Each boater she met seemed to carry their own stories, adding to the rich tapestry of experiences along the waterways. As she untied Serendipity and prepared to set off, Emma took one last look at the village, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The slower pace of life on the canals had sharpened her appreciation for places like Armitage, where modern life intertwined seamlessly with history. It was this rhythm of the water, the blend of old and new, that she cherished. The hum of Serendipity's engine broke the morning silence as she guided the boat gently into the centre, slipping back into the comforting embrace of the canal. As Serendipity glided away from Armitage, the Caldon Canal beckoned. Emma had heard about its beauty from other boaters, how it wound through the heart of Staffordshire's Potteries District, with picturesque countryside views interspersed with the remnants of the area's industrial past. The canal was known for its peaceful atmosphere and historical significance, and Emma felt it was time to explore this hidden gem. Steering Serendipity toward the Caldon Canal, she eagerly anticipated what the journey would bring. Not long after joining the Caldon Canal, Emma arrived at Etruria Junction, where the James Brindley statue stood proudly. Brindley had designed many of the waterways that Emma now travelled, and his contribution to the canal network was legendary. The statue, delivered to Etruria in 1990 by the steam Narrowboat President, was a tribute to Brindley's legacy. Emma moored Serendipity and took a moment to stand by the statue, reflecting on the historic moment John had told her about. John had been part of the team that delivered the statue by President, and he always spoke of it with pride. Emma could picture him, standing on the deck of President, guiding the steam-powered vessel through these same canals, delivering a piece of history to commemorate one of the great pioneers of canal engineering. The thought filled Emma with a sense of connection to the past, and she stood there quietly, letting the weight of history settle around her. After spending some time at the junction, Emma continued along the Caldon Canal, her mind still on the legacy of Brindley and the canals he had helped to shape. As Serendipity moved forward, she passed the Churnet Valley Railway, where steam locomotives puffed along the tracks parallel to the canal. The sound of the train whistle cut through the stillness, creating a beautiful harmony between the canal and the railway. It was as if the two forms of transport, both so vital to the region's past, were working together in sync once again. Emma watched the steam trail from the locomotive, lost in thought about the era when both the canals and the trains had been lifelines for the surrounding towns. Her first stop along the Caldon was the quaint village of Cheddleton, where the Cheddleton Flint Mill still stood, proudly preserving its legacy as a key player in the local pottery trade. The twin water wheels of the mill turned slowly, their creaks echoing across the quiet water. Emma moored Serendipity and spent the afternoon wandering around the village. The Flint Mill, now a museum, showcased the industrial heritage that had once driven the local economy. Powdered flint was essential in pottery production, and the canals had transported these materials far and wide. The sight of the water wheels turning in the soft autumn light brought a sense of continuity to Emma's journey. The canals had not always been about leisurely journeys and peaceful moorings. They had been bustling highways of trade, connecting towns and industries. She imagined the millers and workers who had depended on these canals, loading boats with raw materials destined for the kilns of Stoke-on-Trent. The history felt tangible here, almost as if she could step back in time and witness the old boats creaking under the weight of their cargo. As Emma passed beneath the Hazelhurst Aqueduct, where the Leek branch crossed above the main canal, she marvelled at the intricate engineering of the aqueduct. The canal seemed to rise and fall like the land itself, a true testament to the skill of those who had designed it. The crisp air and vibrant colours of the autumn leaves framed the scene perfectly, creating a sense of timelessness. As Emma reflected on the journey so far, her thoughts turned to the people who had inspired her along the way. Heidi, the Narrowboat Pirate, came to mind. Emma had discovered Heidi's YouTube channel early in her boating adventure, and it had been a guiding light. Heidi's solo voyages aboard the Rum Wench had inspired Emma to embrace the challenges and joys of life on the water. Like Heidi, Emma had learned to navigate locks, manage boat maintenance, and embrace the solitude that often came with the journey. But the freedom, that was what made it all worth it. With the landscape opening up around her, Emma felt a deep sense of contentment. The canals had offered her more than just an escape from her old life. They had given her a new perspective, a slower pace that allowed her to appreciate the beauty in everyday moments. As serendipity drifted along, Emma felt herself drawn deeper into the rhythm of the canal, its slow, deliberate pace matching her own sense of inner peace. As the day drew to a close, Emma guided serendipity back onto the Trent and Mersey Canal. The detour had been everything she had hoped for, full of history, beauty, and quiet reflection. The sights of Armitage, Etruria, Cheddleton, and the Caldon Canal would stay with her, etched into her memory like the waterways themselves. With winter approaching, Emma knew she had decisions to make. Jack's advice to find a marina for the colder months lingered in her mind, and while the idea of a secure mooring was appealing, she wasn't quite ready to give up the freedom of the canal. For now, she would continue her journey, trusting the water to guide her. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the canal. As serendipity moved forward, Emma looked out at the horizon, knowing that each bend held new discoveries. The journey was far from over, and for Emma, that was the greatest comfort of all.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this chapter, please give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more. There are plenty of chapters to come, so stay tuned for the next part of Emma's journey. Looking for more inspiration while you explore canal life? Why not try Audible? Listen to audiobooks on the go, like Emma does on her travels. Sign up for a membership in the description and enjoy thousands of books, including canal-themed stories and more. Happy listening! Please note, the Audible link is an affiliate link, which means I, the author, may earn a commission at no extra cost to you if you choose to sign up.